Hello you guys, and welcome back to I Am In, and this is your host JasmineLatishea. Okay, so now I'm coming in with a part 2 to the tongue podcast. And the reason I'm coming back is because after I did that podcast, like I automatically felt some certain type of a way when I began to say and talk about how people use their tongue for wickedness. So if you watched the first video or listened to the previous podcast on tongue, we went through the breakdown of the Hebrew letters. The word for tongue is actually lashon. Okay, so now you guys, let's get in the habit of using the Hebrew words for words we've already learned. Okay, so I'm gonna now keep saying lashon. Remember, lashon is tongue in the Hebrew. Okay, so on this part, I wanted to talk about how people say that they are keeping it real. So the name of this podcast today on Lashon Part 2 is Keeping It Wicked. Okay? People like to say they're keeping it real as a way to hurt other people and justify it as being the truth. Okay? So if I see a person that has, let's say, leprosy or lupus, which is a skin condition that you can see on a person's face. If I stop that person and I tell that person, hey, your skin is blotchy, okay, and it's peeling. Now, it may be the truth, but is that the right thing to say to somebody? You are out of order. Just because something is the truth don't mean it has to be said. Right? So, like on all of the usual shows, I like to give you guys my own personal experiences when it comes to the subjects that we'll be dealing with. And with tongue, I really wanted to do that same thing. Now, over the years, I noticed this when I was very, very, very young, and I think that other people picked up on this as much as I did. But people would always say, and it was a chant, that words could never hurt me. And I never ever felt that way. I would be like, when somebody says something to me, I can feel it physically. If you say something that you have no business saying to me, I literally feel that. You might as well have taken a knife out and stabbed me, because that's the way that I felt. I felt jabbed. Sometimes I feel like I can look around and I might actually see blood from the things that people have said to me over the years. And what's more crazy about it, a lot of the times, I'm not going to say never, but most of the time, people would say and sprout out wicked things to you with no justification, no cause. So here's some personal stories that I actually dealt with as pertaining to the word lashon. Okay. So when I was younger, I was a chubby little kid. So you go to school, the other kids they would be wicked. There's nothing else to call it. There's no sugarcoating it. other kids would be wicked. And they would say, you know, you're fat, you're this, you're that. And I would just cry until I started fighting. I would just cry. Because what they actually said did hurt me. But as I grew up, pain never went away. And I noticed that people like to force themselves into situations where, like, they become immune to other people's tongues against them. If I'm hanging around a boy cousin of mine, it is never okay for that boy cousin to say certain things to me, no matter how close we got, right? But people on the street, you know how you play the dozens and all that stuff. People actually become immune to people saying certain things to them. I've never been that person. Or I'll say I've been that way to a certain extent, but I just never ever made it quite to the level of what other people call or believe is an armor or a shield, and they actually believe that they have strength because they can handle what it is that people spew out on them. But actually what it is that they have no problem with returning it, right? Some people to this day I do not deal with in my life because I know that they are forked-tongued. One minute they're with you, the next minute they're against you. I cannot hang out with you because I'm not gonna go in the backyard, get my shovel, dig up those bag of bones that you've told me from all the way back when and start spewing them in your face. We don't fight the same. So how can I hang out with you if I'm not willing to fight like you're fighting? I have to get away from around you because, sorry, I have not built up that immunity to the wickedness. I have not built that up. People just want to hang around you, gather every personal detail, and there will become this day when you two get to quarreling, and they will tell you every dirty thing that you've told them in confidence, in secret, in trust, in love, and all of a sudden, just to win that argument, they break every shred of loyalty that they had with you. I never ever understood that. To me, it was never worth it. And then now you have me looking at you a certain kind of a way because I'm like, wow, you would sink that low. After time, I began to notice that I actually gave people more credit than what they deserve. I made you who I wanted you to be. I didn't make you prove yourself. And some people, just because you grow up around them, you know, it's family. They don't have to prove themselves. But when do you let them go? When do you cut people off? It's your spouses and it's your families who seem to be talking to people the most wickedly. The people you love unconditionally say the harshest things to you. I've been told some wicked things in my life, but I have to tell you my life story just so you can understand that where that place of wickedness was actually coming from. And I'm not going to do that right now. Now, there are also some times where I have hurt other people. And you know what, you guys? When I use my tongue as a weapon against another person, when I leave that situation, I'll feel that. I used to love to drink alcohol on a regular basis. I started realizing I was running from something, but I was drinking alcohol on a regular basis. And I would go around and let the enemy use me and say things that I should not have said. And to this day, you know, I regret a lot of the things that I would say to folks. Particularly people who were close to me. And sometimes they would understand, hey, she was just drunk. But when does that stop being an excuse? That's no excuse for me to talk to you any kind of way. Okay? So you guys, if you're drinking, you have to put that bottle down, because the stuff that comes out your mouth when you're high, when you lick it up, when you're drinking, that stuff is wicked. And when you're done being drunk, that person still remember what it was that you said to them and how you have hurt them. When you talk to people a certain kind of a way, you leave scars on their soul. Some people won't be able to recover because of that. Will you have blood on your hands for the people that you put into depression? That's what you think you're supposed to do? Put your fellow neighbor in a depression and then tell them they're weak because they can't handle what it is that you're spewing out? Because you never considered to bite your tongue, and you do it all in the name of keeping it real? That ain't keeping it real, baby. That's keeping it wicked. I'm telling you the truth. People don't know how to deal with people anymore. Talk to you nasty for no reason at all. Nowadays, you can find kids will run up to you because they're a direct reflection of their parents. They'll talk to you any kind of way, no respect at all. Respect never even crossed their minds. Not at all. I'm here to tell y'all, not at all. Respect's never even once crossed their mind. So it's no wonder that not everybody will make it out of here. Some people just don't consider. I don't know what that is. I wasn't born that way. Some people like to sit around and argue all day for no reason, fussing and arguing for no reason. But I've noticed that's a trap of Satan's, because he's trying to pull you out of character. He's trying to pull you out of character through these people that you're taking all of this from because of unconditional love. But trust me and believe me, if a person do not have love for the Most High, they can never love you. And they can never love you because they don't love themselves. Thank you for listening. This was another podcast about Lashon, the tongue. Welcome to I Am In.